Okay, team, can you hear me? Sure. Okay, so I am speaking from the account that says Ken Nabele, and I am visually here from the account that says Tibabu. So that's a bit sort of a small dilemma, but I'm pretty sure we can get through it. So today we're going to have the Shark Tank presentation. Okay. All right, so I would like to start by introducing myself. My name is Dagam, social media manager here at A2SV. I'm going to be the one coordinating everything. So I would like to apologize for the inconvenience that we brought you here. 10-minute delay. It was due to an internet connection that we've been facing. So hopefully that will be resolved during the next iteration. So yeah, I'm going to get started with the presentation now because I don't want to take much of your time. I'm going to present now. So I'm going to invite the first presenters to come here. I'm going to share right now. Here we are. So Isaac is going to be our first. Oh, of course. Before the presentation, I would like to invite Emre to the stage to give a quick debriefing about what's going to await us. Please welcome Emre. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dagim. So, team, today we are going to see 7 ideas from our core development team. The ideas are not very baked, but they are promising. We have done market research analysis on them. We have prepared presentations, and we would love to receive our senior people's comments and opinions on them. So after each presentation, for seniors who want to add their comments, please use the hand sign at the bottom, and then we are going to create a queue, and then we will receive your valuable comments. Today, we are also hoping that we are going to get some mentors for these project ideas. If you really like one idea and you think that it is very promising and you want to guide us in this journey, please feel free to. And by the end, after we receive the comments for each project, we will also do the voting for them. So by using the chat window, you can write whether you want to give a green light or red light for the idea. And the ideas that receive more green lights are going to be allowed to continue their journey, and they will grow with these founder teams, and they will get more resources. They will hire from our other full-time, part-time, and intern developers to make their teams larger and to bring these ideas to the real life. I'm not going to take more time, so let's get started for the first project.
Will be take the stage, right? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for the delay. So for the first iteration, we're going to have Ruth's team to join us. So I'm going to start presenting now. She'll be with us right now. Here we are. Yes. Here's the team.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to introduce to you Melat. She's a 28-year-old woman from Ethiopia and is thrilled to learn that she's pregnant. However, she quickly realizes that keeping track of her pregnancy can be very overwhelming. She needs to monitor her diet and medical appointments while also keeping tabs on her baby's growth and development. As Melat navigates through her pregnancy, she discovers that she has trouble remembering important dates and events. She misses appointments and forgets to take her prenatal vitamins. She also feels anxious and uncertain about the changes happening in her body and is unable to find a reliable source of information. Melat turns to her smartphone for help, but she finds that the existing pregnancy tracking apps available on the market are not tailored to her specific needs as an Ethiopian woman. The apps are often designed for a Western audience and lack cultural relevant information and support. So today we introduce to you Nakia, our pregnancy tracking application. So what are some of the problems that we've noticed in her story? So the first one is the lack of awareness about the pregnancy changes that happen during her whole pregnancy. Another one is the lack of proper nutrition requirements. And the third one is lack of community support. So the solution we're proposing is an app that tracks your pregnancy journey with the most comprehensive and personalized app that provides access to a network of healthcare providers, community support, and trusted resources all in one place. So the features that this app is going to have is first, tracking baby's development milestones and symptoms, nutritional guide, community support, weight and vital tracking, community channel with doctors, and tracking important appointments and milestones. So what are the unique selling propositions? So the first one is localized content. So every portion of the app is going to be available in local languages. The other one is nutritional guide based on local foods and ingredients. And the third one is having an active and organized community forum where the moms who've gone through similar paths or have had the same experiences can help each other out. So who is our target audience for this app? So our primary target is going to be pregnant women, women trying to conceive, and partners and family members of these women. We also want to work with healthcare professionals and government public health organizations as well. So these are going to be our go-to market plans. So the first one is digital marketing. So we're going to want to use influencers and social media platforms to promote our products. The second one is going to be brochures. So we're planning on distributing promotional brochures in hospitals about our products. And the third one is direct marketing, and this is going to be person-to-person promotion. So this is what the market projections estimations are going to look like for the next 3 years. So in the first year, we estimate on having 500 daily active users and generating a revenue of $35,000. On the second year, we plan on having at least 2,000 daily active users with a revenue of $135,000. And in the third year, we plan on having at least 5,000 daily active users and a revenue of $350,000. So this is the market size in Ethiopia. So the first one is the total addressable market. So these are going to be women of reproductive age from 15 to 49 in Ethiopia. And in 2022, we've gathered information that rounds up to about 31.4 million women. So the second one is going to be fertility rate. So the data shows that on average, a woman has around 4.2 children in her reproductive years. The third one is the mobile phone penetration, and this is the number of unique mobile subscribers in Ethiopia, and this round up to about 47.3 million users. And the fourth one is going to be women of these general mobile users, and it's approximately 38% of the mobile users in Ethiopia, and that sums up to about 17.9 million users. So this is what our business model is going to look like. So it's going to significantly rely on the freemium model and advertising to reach our target market. So 50% of the model is going to rely on the freemium model. 30% is going to rely on advertising, and 20% is going to be in-app purchases. So this is what the SWOT analysis of the product looks like. So some of its strengths is access to vast information and ability to connect to other pregnant women. The weaknesses that could occur is reliant on accurate input from users and potential for privacy concerns. Some of the threats that I might have is competition from established healthcare providers and the fluctuation in demand. And some of the opportunities is expansion of features and partner with healthcare providers. So this is what the roadmap of the product development is going to look like. So we're going to spend about 4 to 7 months in development testing and beta testing. And then the next 2 to 4 weeks is going to be focused on launch marketing campaign. After that, the next 2 weeks is going to be focused on the release of the first version of the app. And then we're going to have ongoing user engagement and support for the app and website as well. And then 4 months after that, we plan on releasing the second version of the app that also includes postnatal care. So we've looked into the local and global competitors for our product. And some of the limitations of this app are, first one, are the local pregnancy tracking apps. We've noticed that some of these features are highly static content and is really bulky and makes it hard to find the relevant content in there. And it also has very unappealing user experience. Some of the limitations we've noticed in the global pregnancy tracking apps, we've reviewed more than 20 apps that are related to pregnancy tracking. And we've noticed that they have very unorganized community support features. They have limited brand recognition, and the nutritional advice doesn't cater to the local content. So our app provides a comprehensive and personalized approach to pregnancy tracking, which includes access to healthcare providers, community support, and trusted resources. This unique feature set could differentiate the app from its competitors and appeal to expectant mothers in Ethiopia who are seeking a more holistic and integrated approach to managing their pregnancy. Thank you. Any questions? Are there any questions?
All right, Alper abi, we can start with you.
Hi everyone. Thank you for your presentation. Anyway, too much echo. I guess it's okay now. Right. Thank you for the presentation. I have a simple question about the income structure. You said you envisaged a freemium model of 50% and the rest will be advertising plus in-app purchases. Do you have specifically in mind about I would say, in-app purchase? Just give me an example about it, please.
I'm very sorry, Alpo. Could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. I'm talking about the income model. You said that 50% of the thing will be freemium model, and the rest will be some advertising plus some in-app purchases. I'd like to ask examples of what kind of in-app purchases are you thinking about?
Okay, so some of the in-app purchases that we've thought about for this app are having a market store for these women that can purchase any pregnancy-related and or baby-related products that they might need. It also includes some premium features such as kick counter and ad-free versions of the apps.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Noam, you can go ahead and raise your question, please. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I'm very for the presentation. I have a very similar question about the business model. Since yes, there are many young and productive women in Ethiopia, but many of them are not. I don't think that they are in. So aware of apps and willing to start spending their money in an app. Especially many of those rural women do not have much access to purchase online, to using an app on a regular basis. So I wonder if you approached some advertisers and see the willingness to go and spend money with this kind of a place. It's very important to do a test run before going into developing expectations and see not among your immediate circle of friends, but just going into different socioeconomic groups and test the idea first. Did you do something like this?
Yes, so we've went around and asked pregnant women about what their needs for this product are going to be, if that was your question.
I actually asked him because to verify the numbers, it's very important not just to ask pregnant women on just that you see, but go to specific neighborhoods so you can get an idea of socioeconomic status and the possibilities of them using the app, if you understand. So not just around the university or around the area where you live, but approach a much broader crowd to get an idea of real numbers of potential users.
Okay, we'll definitely take that into consideration.
I'll be brief. Yeah, I think that adding the development milestones, the leaps and stuff like that for post-pregnancy should be pretty easy and therefore like not reserved for version 2. I think that it's a big opportunity to kind of keep it in the initial launch. And then I think for the go-to-market launch, The brochures and the face-to-face or the in-person kind of marketing will have like limited impact. I really, agree that the influencer campaign will be huge. And just in general, buying ads on Instagram and services like that will have a huge ROI. So definitely incorporate those. But overall, loved it.
Okay, we'll definitely take those into account.
Thank you.
Mirna, go ahead.
Mirna, go ahead. Where's the Saka? Saka. I don't know how we did it.
Mirna, you are muted. You can go ahead.
There's a meeting tab here, and the other is Saka. We did that. I don't know where to go now. Where are the people now?
Okay, guys, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. This topic is kind of really dear to me, right? Because I'm a woman. So, have you guys thought about creating, first and foremost, like an online community of pregnant women? The reason why I'm asking is women that are pregnant, if you guys know, like in 2000 to 2005, these women were always on forums, right? So influencer marketing is one thing, paying for ads is another thing. But the only way you're going to get real feedback is if you're able to, and if you want to get your acquisition cost per customer down, and if you want to get real feedback, what I would do is I would create an online community, like a Facebook group, right, for specific women, like pregnant women in Ethiopia, right, local women. This will allow you to create, because you need a pool of women that are ready to use the app, right? Influencer marketing, all cool, but if you want to go the low cost to almost no cost, creating an online community is something that is going to allow you guys to have women that are ready to go, because your customer acquisition is going to be tough if you need to spend money every time you acquire a new woman that is pregnant, right? Because this is not something she's going to use for like 10 years. She's going to use the app for 9 months, maybe more than that. And then you need to replenish that and make sure that you don't start to churn by basically coming up with new people, right? And new women, and kind of grab that audience. So I had a healthcare startup. It was very similar to what you guys were building. It wasn't aimed on pregnant women. It was aimed on nutrition work clients, right? So it had healthcare. Creating an online community, like a group or a place where these women communicate and commute. They're going to do this ways, right? Every time a woman pregnant does, she joins a Facebook group with her in her town, in her area, because she wants to get more information from women that have been through that and all these different things, right? So if you want to get your client acquisition costs down, start selling the app. And if you want to maybe start pre-selling the app and doing the real reach, I suggest that you guys really think about creating free, and that's going to point to a funnel where these women are going to be easier to convert. Hopefully that makes sense, right? It's the best model I've seen to really kind of get to where women actually start to use your app and know about it, right? So you create a community on the topic of pregnant women in Ethiopia. You try to grab that community in one place, let them start conversations. They're going to do a lot of work for you so that you can start to understand how you need to do marketing skills and marketing. Yeah, just my suggestion. And Doga says hi as well.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree. So one of our key features of this product is going to be having a very huge and active community platform. We even plan on having it very organized, even having like, is this okay forums and then general forums where you can talk to, and even categorizing it down to specific details so that it would be easier to navigate. So yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, that should be a key feature of the product as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about a key feature of the product. I'm talking about how you're going to do your marketing and sales, right? Where you're going to create a pool of people that you're going to transfer into the freemium, right? And have premium. What I would do is I would have a free community, on Facebook or somewhere, and where people commute, people like women just go there anyways, right? So instead of going to some other groups, you want to create a free Facebook group, get them in there, let them hear about your app, get them a more premium group within the app, because that should be like your sales funnel. That should be like your marketing and sales funnel, right? And then when you're really like 100% certain about like the features and how the users are using the app, then creating like paid advertising. Because right now, like if you just went on and start to pay for advertising now, like you'd be shooting in the dark, right? So you have because one of the things you're going to have a problem with is how are you going to change the habits of how these women commute? Like right now they go on Facebook groups anyways, right? So instead of trying to get them in a community in an app, which is going to be, it will take some time and effort, I would create a Facebook group and kind of really start to build a huge community, right? Where I can start kind of getting them in the app, just to start to use the app, just the freemium, just download it, right? And then move them in the funnel. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we'll definitely take that into consideration. Thank you.
Is there anyone else with comments or questions? Okay, so if not, thank you so much, Ruth. Now we're going to progress with the...
Before we progress, is there anyone who wants to offer mentorship for this project? Then we can continue.
Okay. So... Isaac. What is this? This is the next one. Yep. This is the representative feature. Okay. Not that one?
Wrong slide.
So can you send a new one? So we open the new one. I have no idea you're gonna have to do this. Isaac, please. Is there a way we cannot do this now? Like undo everything and like try everything. It's gotta be once.
Present.
Okay, sorry to take much of your time, team. I'm very sorry. So I don't think things like this is going to happen again. So next up, we're going to have our E2 Explore by Enoch. And basically, the general idea of the E2 Explore project is going to be like onboarding foreigners who could be tourists and everything. So Enoch will be giving us a detailed explanation on what to expect. So let's have Enoch to the stage. Thank you.
So thank you, Dagan. So sharks. I know that some of you live in US and Europe, and you have never been in Ethiopia before. So if you plan to come to Ethiopia, unless you have a point of contact, your experience may not be pleasurable. That's because you don't really know what there is to do in the city you're in. You can go to Google Maps and search for places, but I believe that's going to be hopeless because you'll be navigating through overwhelming amounts of data. So we believe the solution is using our service, which is called E2 Explore. So let me explain how it works. So the common problem that we noticed is that travelers often struggle to find experiences that truly align with their interest and background. And the generic travel recommendation of most services, they fail to create tailored experience for travelers. So the solution, we believe, is personalized recommendation using AI-powered platform. So let's take a simple scenario where you came to Addis Ababa and you're free on Saturday, and you're planning to go to a very nice place with your spouse, let's say, and you're planning to go to a place like Bole, which is a very famous place in Ethiopia. So by using our app, what you'll do is you place Bole in this big blue circle, and then we'll analyze all the new places that have opened up recently and all the data, and we will recommend the right place for you. So you will also put in your free time, because if it's in the nighttime, the recommendation will be based on nightlife. And then you'll also fill in your interest. So there will be a series of questions. Then at the end, voila, there will be a recommendation, like the first thing that you can do, let's say in the morning. So it will give you a bunch of options that you can choose from. And we're planning to use a Tinder-like interaction with our user so that we can know what they like, what they don't like. And after you have chosen your first destination, based on that, we'll also be recommending places to eat after that for lunch and what to do in the afternoon based on what you have chosen previously. So that's essentially the idea. So our business model is partnering with local businesses, subscription-based premium services. We're also planning to include experts in this area that can give you human recommendation, targeting advertising for travel-related products, souvenirs, and services. Our customers right now, we're planning to target tourists, but this app can be used by anyone. Adventure seekers, culture enthusiasts, and individuals who appreciate personalized travel experience. So our main secret sauce is our AI algorithm, which will learn from users' profile and how they interact with our system, which will be continuously refined for truly unique and personalized experience. We're also planning to leverage local expertise to create hidden gems and exclusive experiences. So our competitive analysis includes apps like TripAdvisor and Tropia, but they usually focus on tours and trips, and they're not really a recommendation system. They lack personalization and tailored experience. Travel agencies, they usually use cookie cutter travel plans for their users. They can be adjusted, but they're costly and they are hard to find. So travel blogs may also be inspiring, but are not adaptive to individual preferences. So our financial plans are within 1 year, we're planning to get 10,000 plus active users, 50 plus local partnership and have a rating of 4.5. And within 3 years, we're planning to get 100,000 plus active users and 300 plus local partnership and expand internationally. So within the first 3 months, we'll be developing the product. So within the first 3 months, we'll be developing the. Okay, so within the first 3 months, we'll be developing the product and testing the product. We believe that will cost us around $20,000, and after that, for 2 months, we'll be establishing local partnership and refining our algorithm. And then after that, we'll be doing marketing campaign. And after that, within the 10 to 12 months, we'll be iterating to our platform based on user feedback and market demand. And within year 2, we're planning to scale up and do marketing efforts and expand partnership and explore international opportunities. So once again, Ethio Explore is a unique AI-driven solution that combines personalization with local expertise to create truly memorable and tailored experience for you, by you, for you. So thank you. That brings us to the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions, please, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, Mr. Alper, you can go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for the presentation. I have a question about a specific question, I would say. What's your basic data source for building up the application? We are talking about places, experiences, dishes and things like that. And you are saying that there will be an AI.
Mr. Alper, could you give us a minute? We actually can't hear you.
Okay.
Okay, maybe you can try again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay. My question was that what's your data source for building the app? You're talking about places, dishes, hotels, and sceneries and things like that. And you're saying that there will be an AI to customize the requirement of the user with what is available there. So basically, what's the data source that you are going to build up in the app, and how are you going to do it?
Yes. So we're planning to use Google Maps data. From there's a huge amount of data. So we'll be analyzing that, and we'll be making the recommendations. So at first, we won't really be knowing who our users are. So we may be using collaborative filtering algorithms for that. So that's how we're planning to approach the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Noam, you're up next. Anything I'd like to mention?
Yeah, happen to be, this is actually my field, tourism development. And I travel 9 months out of the year. I never used an app. And there's so many, I don't know how many people will subscribe to a service like this, pay subscription. However, there are lots of people that will be willing to put finance advertising. And I think it's important to include the Ministry of Tourism, and maybe they will be the biggest client for something like this. Similar services offered for free, of course, by the government of Peru. I'm in Peru right now, and there is a similar service. And I think Google Map is and Google database is not strong enough for the many types of tourism that are right now. And I think that the financial model is not strong enough. It's I don't know. As I said, I travel all the time, and that's actually my job is an advisor on tourism development. And I don't know many travelers that will pay subscription for use such a service. So, however, I do see lots of other ways to finance such a project, and I think that the business models should be adapted for that.
Yes. So we're planning if it's a premium service, they will get recommended by a real human. But if they are using our service, they won't be paying any money. That's what we're planning initially. But if they want premium service and human recommendation, that would be a service that they have to pay. That's what we have in mind. So yes, we'll definitely keep in mind the things that you have mentioned.
Okay, Mr. Ali, do you have something to say? You raised your hand.
Yeah, there is a high visa fee for the international visitors to Ethiopia. Do you think, how are you going to overcome that bottleneck? I mean, it's a big bottleneck for the project.
There's high what?
Visa fee.
High visa fee. I paid $185 just to get into.
Yes. So currently we have about every year we get about 850,000 tourists. So we're planning to get 10,000 of them within the first year. Let's say you are in Arakilo, for instance. So in Arakilo, it's known for its fish restaurants. So we were thinking if the system could actually recommend fish restaurants for you based on the place that you're in, things that you may like based on who you are and your background and interest, that people may like it. That's essentially the idea. So did that answer your question?
I mean, it's not easy to generate revenue. You need to come up with some other revenue streams. I mean, maybe you need to have good relations with the best restaurants in Addis. I don't know, and recommend that and get the money from the restaurants rather than the user.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Any questions?
Do we have any other questions? Any other suggestions, recommendations? Okay, no?
One recommendation I can make.
Okay. Sure thing.
So one recommendation I would make is considering a partnership with the airport, Bole Airport, because all the tourists come through the airport. If when people get connected to internet, they get notified about your app, this can be a great way of winning users.
Okay. Thank you, Emre. Did you manage to catch that, Enoch?
Yes.
Write that down somewhere. Thank you. Okay, let's send Enoch back to its seat. So yeah, next up we're going to have our rated presentation. It's going to be presented to us by Bini. So let's hear what he has to say about rated. Okay, Bini, welcome to the stage. Let's present your screen. Yes. Yes, everything is ready. This is your sure.
Okay, so welcome to our presentation, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine you're craving for authentic Thai food, and let's say you search for restaurants online, and you find a bunch of links that could provide you foods, and you click on some of them, and there were a few websites but the information is limited, and you couldn't find any ratings and reviews on those items, and you're frustrated, and you maybe turned into social media to look for recommendations, and you find some by friends, and the information was scattered, and you still don't know a clear idea of where to eat. So finally, after hours of searching and asking for recommendations, you settled for a restaurant, and you went there, and the experience wasn't as you expected, and you wished there was a reliable information about the restaurant and their dishes, so you could make a more informed decision about where you want to eat. So I want to introduce to you. Rate It. It's a digital platform where people could go and review restaurants and dishes they experienced it. So we believe that the best way you could find a good dish is to rely on the experience of others who have already gone there and passed through the experience you're going to go through. So that's why our app features user-generated ratings and reviews, so you could see what other people are saying about a particular restaurant or dish before you even step foot inside that restaurant. So this will help users make informed decisions, and businesses can perfect their menus and offerings. For the business model, we propose premium subscription, targeted advertising, and data-driven insight for the service providers. So as for the premium subscriptions, businesses would gain access to additional features and services on our app. Such additional features include advanced data analytics and insights, personalized marketing campaigns, and the ability to respond to customers' feedback and reviews. And restaurants could also pay to have their top performing dishes featured in our app. We'll also in the future plan to integrate delivery systems where we would have partnership with food businesses and which incentivizes users to order through our app. And for the secret sauce, Rate It involves unique item level feedbacks where users could not just review the restaurant but also the specific items that they consumed. We will have a robust review process for the review and verification process for the restaurants, and we will also encourage people to engage more in our app through incentivizement. So every review and feedback that users give will have points that they could be rewarded. So this would increase the engagement in our app. So for the marketing and sales, we mainly want to focus on the social media marketing and influencer marketing. For the social media marketing, we would focus on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and other social media that are widely used in our country. And we will also be partnering up with food bloggers, critics, and other social media influencers. And we also have event marketing, where we would organize food festivals and other events in our country to showcase the app and its features. And we will also have partnership marketing, where we would collaborate with restaurant owners and food delivery services to promote the app. And as for our target market, we will focus on audiences aged between 18 to 55. This includes food enthusiasts, travelers, and urban residents in our country, as well as we would be working with restaurants and other who are involved in the food industry. And we'll be seeking to improve their offering and reach to new customers through our platform. For the market interest, year one, we plan to generate 100,000 in revenue, have 1,000 restaurant partners, 5,000 active users, 50,000 reviews. On year two, plan to generate 300,000 in revenue, 2,500 restaurant partners, 15,000 active users, and 100,000 reviews in our platform. For the third year, we plan to generate 700,000 in revenue, have 5,000 restaurant partners, 30,000 active users, and 300 reviews on our platform. So, as for the cost estimation, we try to include the development, infrastructure, marketing, operational, and legal and regulatory costs. We came up with an aggregate cost of 85 to 150,000. And for the competitive analysis, the currently existing systems include using generic review platforms where people could just review the restaurants, and it's really hard to determine what are the good foods available just by looking reviews on restaurants. So we try to address that issue, and there are some international food review apps, like some of you might know TripAdvisor, right, and Eat Out. So the problem with these platforms in our country is there isn't much market propagation. They are not pushed too much into our current country's market, and there isn't much information about the restaurants in this platform. So we want to address that issue with our platform. And the other and commonly used method of like propagating this information about the restaurants is word of mouth. And our platform would be a robust solution for this currently existing way of sharing information. So for the timeline and use of funds, the first 3 up to 5 months will be used for the development and beta testing. And 6 to 7 will be for onboarding local restaurants and refining the platform based on feedbacks gathered from the users. 8 up to 10 months will be for official launch of Rated App and marketing campaign rollout and user growth initiatives. 11 to 12 months, continuous platform improvement and expansion. And we will be exploring opportunities in other sectors. And year 2 will be scaling up market efforts, expanding partnership, and enhancing Rated features. So that's all for Rated. If you have any question, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you, Vinny. Okay, so do we have any raised hands? Any questions? I see Mr. Ali, you can go ahead.
I really like the project. I mean, it has a great future if you can find a simple operation, and somehow operation-wise, we need to figure out how are we gonna get the restaurants. I mean, how are we gonna get the people review the food that they have. And if we can figure out, and if we can start from the university, or we can start from university students or other very well connected people, I mean, we can get to somewhere, and I want to be a part of this Rated project somehow.
Okay, thank you, Ali. And we also plan to start small, right? We'll start from maybe from universities, like you mentioned, and we will just try to expand from there. Okay.
Yeah, and there are two sides. First, you need the reviews, and you need to get the partnerships. I mean, it's not gonna be easy, but once we do the Ethiopia, we can expand it. I mean, it's an expandable business, a scalable business, if we do it right.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Nom, we can continue with you.
Actually, this earlier, let me just send this here because it's next. Membership is very, very difficult to obtain. What is much easier in the restaurant business is to get kickback from the restaurants and to have them basically finance. Nowadays, people don't pay so much for premium services. I don't know how many services you are paying premium, but most people looking for free apps. But in the restaurant business, it's very easy to get restaurants to pay back because their profit margin is fairly good, and they can finance and give kickback to you guys, and give discount for the people that use the service.
Now, Mr. Nom, your mic is breaking up. Could you speak closer?
Yeah, I'm getting a phone call again and again, so let me.
It's okay.
Get back with you in a second.
It's fine.
Okay?
And also, again, we can add other services as well. We can start with the food, and then later we can add other products, other services as well. And that's why it's an expandable business model. And as long as we can find a good revenue stream from digital ads to partnerships, and we are going to be in good shape, I guess.
Other areas. Okay, noted.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Mr. Noam, are you back with us? Mr. Noam. Okay, for those of you who didn't hear, I got to hear what he said. He said he's been facing multiple phone calls, so we had to address those. So I think
sorry,
okay, thank you.
So a model of a kickback from discounts for the consumers and the kickback from the restaurant is the easiest model to apply.
So okay, we actually have started try to get information from restaurants, and the feedback from them was on the initial side was really nice. So they were very open to sharing their information and to be displayed on our platform. So yeah, that would be a good place to start. So any more questions?
Yeah. Someone.
Yes, you can.
ከደረስኩበት ጊዜ ጀምሮ ቆንጆ ነገር ነው ያየሁት፣ ግን በጀቱን ከየት ታመጣ አሰብክ? በጀት ሶርስስ Can you hear me now? Where did you get the budget? Because you mentioned here like around $250 like that stuff. So the source of the budget. The second one is there is a lot of apps like this. What makes a difference from these apps?
So for the first question, this is just business proposition, and anyone who's interested to invest in it, we are more than open to accept that. And for the second one, we will actually try to mention that in our presentation. So there are already existing platforms, right? I have mentioned TripAdvisor and Without, but these platforms didn't make that much progress in our country, right? They are much more developed and working in US and other countries, but there isn't much progress push in our countries. So we want to take advantage of that and start from our country and expand to other countries. So this is the advantage that we get. We start local and expand to other markets. Yeah, we plan to expand outside of Ethiopia, but we first start here and then start small and then expand.
In what way do you want to attract them? They want to spend it for you?
So I think this business model is very profitable. So it will be a good investment idea for the investor side, I think.
Nobody is watching now, so I mean, there should be a mechanism that you are running with such a campaign like that. So, or what platform do you use to approach the investors or that kind of stuff? So, if our marketing teams really believe in this idea, I think they will have much more connections that we have, and it will be much easier for them to do this. So that's why we're pitching them.
Okay, so now we're gonna carry on to the next project. It's called Build Direct, by the motto that says, "Let's get rid of the middleman for buying construction materials." Yeah, I got you there. Okay, so we're going to have Yisak to present this idea for us. Let's have Yisak to the stage. Thank you so much. So I'm going to present now. Stage is yours. What's up? I'm sharing. Oh, okay. My fault. Here we are. Yisak, stage is yours. You can take it.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present the Build Direct project. So we'll be focusing on solving problems in the construction sector. As we all know, the construction sector is one of the biggest, certainly is the biggest in Ethiopia as well. So one of the biggest industries in the world. And it's one of those industries where a lot of money flows through it. But we also know that it also has a lot of problems. So delays in construction, extended costs, are pretty common. So we're trying to solve one of those problems, which is supply and demand between someone that's trying to build, let's say, a home, and the supplier that provides the resources, the materials, or the machinery to rent for them. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say I'm trying to build a house, and at some point in the process, I decide, actually, I need sand for this and this. What do I do right now? So currently, what I do is I'd probably have a contractor that I'm working with. So I'll ask for their recommendation for who could bring me that sand that I want at the moment. So I'd get the recommendation. I'd make the purchase, and then everything is done. One thing that I don't know is that the contractor may make a deal with the person that's providing it, and they just add some more to the cost of it, and then just split the difference. And this actually does happen a lot. Another option that I have, if I don't want to go through the contractor route, is, let's say I find out there's a place called Lagar where these cars loaded with sand are parked and are waiting for people to buy the sand off their hands. I could go there, find someone whose price I like, and then buy the product, get it delivered. But I've also heard that these people cannot be trusted, and there have been histories of low quality products being delivered to people. So this is also another concern for me. So the problem with this system so far is, one, there's an overhead with finding these sources for construction materials. I'll have to either go through a person or do the search myself. Especially on my busy schedule, that's probably not going to be that's not going to be convenient. Another one is relying on the contractor's recommendation, which leads to potential price manipulations, like I mentioned. And there's also another additional aspect of when a contractor recommends a supplier, even if they're being genuine, that supplier might not have that sand available at the moment. So there's no way to know it will be available at the time that we need it. There's also the aspect of reduced quality that I mentioned, where when I'm trying to buy the stuff from people that I don't know, then I'm prone to being manipulated in that aspect as well. So what do we propose as a solution for this? As a team, we're proposing an e-commerce platform where
we act as the middleman in place of that contractor, and we provide those supplies for consumers that request them. We provide an interface where people request for that sand, let's say, and we'll find a supplier that can deliver that for them, and then we'll do that connection, and we'll make sure that the price they pay is stable throughout like the suppliers that we provide. Which means like these prices are mostly known by people, but the manipulation happens when we're dealing with people that don't know the price. And then the other thing is we can make sure our suppliers are of high quality and we can regulate them. The underlying magic here, why people would use it, is because of the stable pricing. They will be able to trust us. Interfacing with an organization instead of just a person creates a better trust, because we'd be liable for the issues, and then a user-friendly platform would help as well. Like having extensive supplier network would make sure that the supply is always available, and we won't have to worry about something not being available at the moment. Our business model here is we plan to get commissions on each transaction that happens. So our workflow right now is I'd call or I'd use the app to request for my sand, and I'll be connected to someone that will deliver it. The app tracks transaction happening, like how far that went, how much was sold and stuff, and a percentage of that amount that I paid will be cut from the supplier's from the supplier's end. And additional thing that we can offer is we can make sure we can make it an option for suppliers to pay us to prioritize them over others when we're looking for a supplier for a specific request. Another thing we can always delve into is targeted advertising, even for things that we don't offer suppliers for. Our target market, obviously, is going to be on the two ends. The buyer end, it could be home builders. Right now, we're focusing on small home builders usually, and it could also be useful for contractors, for genuine contractors who are trying to make good recommendations for their clients. And on the suppliers end, normally we deal with the drivers, because the drivers usually load their trucks and are waiting for someone to buy their product. And in addition to that, we can also deal with machine renters for rentals of specific machines instead of specific like supplies like sand and gravel or something. Our go-to-market plan is we intend to partner with associations where home builders will have communities, and they have conversations, and they'll spread the word for us. So we believe this would be a useful tool. In addition to that, we can talk to suppliers and manufacturers by ourselves as well. And as for trying to get the clients, we do a lot of digital marketing through like social media advertisements and stuff. And direct marketing could help us get to both suppliers and the buyers as well. So currently, we've put out 2 competitors. Like I've mentioned, the problems that we have with traditional marketing, which is the limited trust and predictability and like it's prone to price manipulation. There's another platform called Mercato. It's an informational platform that it shows the price of things at the current time, but it stops there. Like it shows the price and there's nothing else that it does. We can even consider partnering with them to find that stable price that we've discussed about. So our financial projections. So we believe at this point, like finding suppliers or just registering suppliers will not be the most difficult part. So we expect like we could find up to 500 suppliers on the first year and be able to double them every year, like at least up to the third one. But assuming that like a supplier would use our app for their deliveries, like let's say once every more than 2 or 3 weeks, then we'd be able to have 10,000 transactions in the first year, and that would make us 100K in revenue. That happens because each transaction is usually costs a lot, and even 2% of that amount would be a lot of money. And then the same goes for the rest of the years too. So as for the timeline, we expect to be doing some development and beta testing of the product, just development-sided things in the first few months.
And afterwards, we could think about doing some marketing and onboarding suppliers, because those are going to be the people that we're going to connect with the clients that we'll sell the app to. And afterwards, like on the next stage after that is when we'll deal with actually selling the product to buyers, which I guess from their end, they'd just be using it for free, except like they might have to deal with some ads. And on the second year, we can think about scaling up and thinking about other problems that we can solve in the same industry. So one thing that I point out is like this project needs a bit more research to be done. So like the development process might end up taking longer, and it might need a bit an expert in the field to get better information on, because even for now, like we've tried to get some better numbers and it's been difficult on the national level. So it's going to need a bit more research. Yeah, thank you very much. And if you have any questions, you can ask me, and we have other questions as well.
So great job. I really understand the value, obviously, from the individual home builder side, right? But for the suppliers, I'm curious if they're set up for direct to consumer, or if it's like too cost prohibitive for all of the shipping, for like the individual orders, as opposed to, you know, however they're doing it today with like sending a truck full of bulk stuff, putting it in a local warehouse, and then you kind of get it from that supplier.
That makes sense. One of the things I actually forgot to mention, since it takes some time to get the supplies like from a different city and stuff, they load stuff up, wait at the edge of wait parked somewhere, and when they get a call, they'll deliver that supply for whoever needs it. So in our interface, what the change that would happen would be they'd just see the app, they'd say, I'm available, I have some sand loaded on me. And then whenever there's someone that requests it, they get a notification and then they accept it. So in terms of difficulty of operation, it won't be like an additional overhead.
Got it. The suppliers are already somewhat middlemen. It's not like the actual raw producers or anything like that.
Exactly. And in addition to that, right now, that call usually happens from someone they know, so from a contractor that knows them, and like it's kind of biased to who knows a good contractor and who doesn't. So they'd want to be able to put themselves out there, and they're always out there waiting for people to call them. So another method of selling their product is always a positive too. Plus, we're probably going to charge less than the contractor will ask. Oh, Mr. Nan. Yeah, Mr. Nan.
Yeah, I actually really like this concept. I think this is somebody that build places in different countries. And in Peru, which I think it's very similar to the situation in Addis, it's always like contacting about 60, 70, 80 suppliers and comparing prices and making sure the delivery will be scheduled and reliable, etc. I think this can, in situation like in Addis, will be working very well. I think that the cost structures and the revenues should be studied carefully, but I think that the concept is very good, and I think that it can be serving for like two-tier levels, like the individual home builder and the contractors that build right now larger apartment buildings, that also them have to do the same exact shopping for each kind of material. So I think this can have a very good future.
Nice, thank you. Mr. Ali, I think you're next.
Yeah, for this kind of projects, you need to educate both the user and the supplier. And you need to persuade them to change their industry practices. How do you think that you can change their behavior? Because they have an established relations with contractors, and it's not easy to get them give up those kind of deals. How do you think are you going to solve that?
Okay, so right now we can compare this to an already existing similar method, which is for ride sharing. So one thing that they might like is, instead of, there's already some lack of trust between people and supply contractors. Might not always be the case, I know, but for the people that are already like not sure about it, they'll consider seeing other options, even if they're not sure about it. For those that are sure about it, like even just considering the other options is not going to hurt. Plus, we make sure that they get a better price than like whatever the contractor would offer. But for those that are genuinely getting the best price from their contractors, I don't think we can provide the best value here. The only additional value that we can add is like making sure that resources are available that even the contractor can't assure.
Okay, thank you.
I think Mr. Alper is next.
Yeah, hi. I also like the project, the way it's presented, the concept. And as I live in Turkey, which is, I would say, a construction country, I guess this project can have a future in Ethiopia too. And based on the other comments by Noam and Brian, I also say that as a shark, it could be a viable project, but I have a single concern. I have visited Ethiopia, and to my knowledge that I got from the people there, and especially from Emre, Ethiopia is Addis Ababa plus the rest of the country. So did you do a market research in how you can utilize this project countrywide?
So I believe so far the research that we've done is more focused on Addis Ababa and stuff that goes around it. But I think, if I'm mistaken here, I have someone that can help me out if he's answering. But yeah, I believe that's the case. Like I said, we're going to need to do a bit more research to see how things are done in different places as well. So I understand your point.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it was Brian who said that the costs and the revenue, let's say, schedules of these projects should be revised and worked thoroughly. I totally agree with that, but definitely this project has a go from me. Thank you.
Nice, thank you very much. Any other points or questions? Mr. Noam, is it the previous hand or is it?
I actually said my stuff here. I don't know why the hand stayed raised.
Nice.
Okay, so if we do not have any questions, please let's have Sak, a round of applause. Let's give Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Jerusalem. Yeah. So next up, we're going to have Skill Bridge. That's the name of the presentation and the project. Yedidia will be here to present that for us. The main idea is to connect the students with the industry professionals. There is a gap I do each time, so we're going to have to handle that. Yedidia, please come to the stage. Thank you. I'm going to present your screen. All right, stage is yours.
Okay, hello everyone, my name is Ididia Kabada. So today I would like to present to you an idea that we believe it would affect one of the biggest problems in Africa, which is education. So first, I want you to meet Sarah. She is a high school student who is having difficulty understanding her school studies. She's seeking guidance and support to improve her education. Also, on the other hand, we have Daniel. He is a university student who is currently doing his final project on AI, and he is also need guidance since he is overwhelmed by the vast amount of information found online. On the other hand, we have Ababa. He is a university lecturer, and he wants to share his expertise to different students in his very limited available time. Um, despite trying to find different places where they can get this knowledge, Sarah and Daniel really having a problem on getting the right expertise on these fields because of the first thing, they are having a geographical limitation, which makes it difficult for them to attend in-person classes due to their schedule. Abab also has a trouble on creating in-person classes since his time is very limited and he's only available outside working hours. So this is where our platform comes in, Skill Bridge. So we'll try to connect expertise like Ababa with students who want to gain different skill in different areas. So the problem we observed is in Ethiopia, students are really struggling to access expert guidance in specific fields such as programming or such different content like high school student on their topics. On the other hand, professionals also lack a platform to find these students, share their knowledge and monetize their skill. So Skill Bridge, we are trying to provide a platform that connects these students with these different industry professionals in various fields. We also try to enable personalized learning and skill development. Our platform makes it easy for experts to find their students, share their expertise while generating income without the need to be in person or without the need to commute to different places or having in-person sessions. So underlying magic is the first one is interactive live session, which is very important since both sides won't be available to have these in-person sessions or generating content online. It has to be interactive where these students can get a direct guidance from these experts. Also, we'll try to give access to personalized learning experiences for this student. The other one is professionals can effectively share their expertise online. So for our business model, the first one is commission on mentorship fees. So basically, we can have students can have a one-on-one session with these experts and get a direct guidance from them. It can be a group class where different students can be guided with these experts. So all of this requires some payment, and we'll try to get some commission from these sessions. The other one is premium mentor listing. We'll try to have premium mentors that are very maybe well known or very experienced on some specific fields, which will be available on the premium ones. We also try to have a targeted advertising for educational institutions and services. So the market we are trying to target is the first one is the students and the youth. This is the main target of our product, which is currently 70% of the population in Ethiopia, as well as the majority percent of the population in Africa. We also try to target industry professionals so that they can share their skills. We try to target educational institutions, training centers, and online course providers that are seeking to expand their reach and impact. So for marketing, the first thing we can use is what we already have in hand, which is A2SV. We can use A2SV education and community to reach out to different students about our products. We can use digital marketing campaigns to reach out to different people through the digital world. We also try to have partnership with educational institutions. Believe that they are willing to do this because it can help both sides. We also try to have a collaboration with industry professionals and influencers. It can be someone who wants to share the skill or someone that is impactful in the current world. So our go-to-market plan is first we'll try to develop this platform with a large pool of mentors. Then we'll try to we'll try to continuously improve this product. Then we'll execute targeted marketing campaigns. Then finally we'll try to continuously explore new opportunity and expand the platform offering. So for projections and milestone, for the first year, we'll try to onboard 500 mentors, 2,500 active students, and 10,000 mentorship sessions. And for the second year, we'll try to increase that to 1,500 mentors, 75 100 active students and 30,000 mentorship session. For year 3, we'll try to make that to 7,500 mentors, 37,500 active students, and 150,000 mentorship sessions. So for our competitors, we have some local competitors like A2SV, Ethiopian, Halitators, and others. So most of the things they have in common is they lack interactive live sessions, which is very crucial. We believe to have this direct session with these experts to have a direct guidance for our skills. And some of them lack one-on-one sessions to have this share of skills, and most of them lack these group classes where one can attend these group sessions and get knowledge from these experts. And the one thing we observe also is lack of variety of content and the quality of these contents that are already available, which was a great issue. And the other one is online course provider like Udemy and Coursera. Someone may choose to attend these classes, but there are still problems in these areas, because the first one is localization. People always try to prefer this thing localized to their content. For example, high school students want their curriculum, things related to their curriculum, and the other one is we believe is lack of payment to this Udemy and other kind of platform, and there is still lack of interactive live session that we believe which is crucial. So we'll try to provide all this in one platform, which is SkillBridge. So for our financial projection and key metrics, so for the first year, having this stats of mentor active students in mentorship session, we'll try to generate 50,000 in revenue.
Supposed to see the timeline. So the timeline is for the first 2 months. It's going to be planning. We're going to define the scope, identify our potential users, and create a roadmap for what the next couple of months and a year would look like. We don't expect much cost in this year, in this time, but for the next phase, for the development phase, would be having developers actually developing the system and testing it and launching it. That's when we'd have the biggest cost of all the timelines. After that, since it will be open source, we'd only need a code. The cost would only be of running it and maybe customer support and maintaining it. Expansion phase. During expansion phase, we plan to include more organizations and possibly expand globally into more countries. That would be the next 1 month or 2 months, meaning that in total almost a year and a half later. And then like an annual cost, we'd expect to have an annual cost of $10,000 to $20,000 after we've set up everything and expanded. And that would be just for maintenance. That's the SMART project. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, team, do we have any questions for the SMART team? For the SMART project, anyone? So I believe this is going to be the only project that did not receive any questions or feedbacks or suggestions. I'm not sure what to say about this.
We're taking this as a compliment.
All right, team. So I guess exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Kala, for the presentation. So that was everything. Now we're going to have Emre to discuss what's next. So let's have Emre to the stage. Thank you.
All right, team. So we have seen all our 7 projects, but it says you lost network connection. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So now we are going to go over the evaluation of our sharks one by one. And then we will hear if there are any projects that they want to show red light. And Mr. Alper, would you like to kick us off?
Okay, Emre. How should we proceed? You name the project and I say yay or no?
We can definitely do that.
Yeah, please.
So, our first project was Nakia, the pregnancy tracker.
Okay, let me start something like this. I'll give reds and greens to the projects, but I'd like to emphasize to all teams that after thanking their thanking for their presentations, they should be keeping in mind that all the presentations require in-depth analysis of the cost and revenue, I would say once more, because they have heard something from us, from me, for the other sharks, and at the end of the day, the doability of a project is not only dependent on the complexity or the team or whatever the problem is, but it's always defined by the profitability. So basically, all of the teams should keep this in mind and act accordingly if their project has a goal that they need to work on it in more detail. Having said this, I have a goal for the pregnancy project.
Thank you very much. Our next project is Ethio Explore.
It's a good project, I would say, but given the circumstances, the priority shouldn't be on that project. So, unfortunately, they are red light.
Thank you. Next, Rate Eat.
Rate It has some certain foundations before, and I guess it's a doable and a project that can be profitable, so it's a yay.
Thank you. Next, Build Direct.
It's one of the best projects I've seen among them, so it's a green light.
Skill Bridge.
Because of the nature of the project, because of the fact that we are A2SV, and because of the fact that the huge population in Ethiopia and Africa, a definitely green one.
Next, AfroGPT.
AfroGPT also has a green light from me.
And finally, Smart.
Being on the team, I cannot say red. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alper Abi. Any concluding remarks, any other messages you want to give to our valuable developers and founders?
Yeah, the first thing I'm going to say is the usual thing I'm going to say always, is that I'm very proud to be a part of this team, and we have the potential to change everything. We have seen several projects, which I guess most of them will be live in the time scale that they have proposed, but this requires hard working, and especially, as Emre, you will definitely agree, hard planning, because the planning phase gives the way to the success. And I guess that's the most important thing, dedication and planning.
Thank you very much, Alper Abi. Thanks for sharing your honest opinions with us.
Thank you.
And next, we are going to continue with Ali Abi.
Hi, everyone, again. And I really impressed to see these good projects. Actually, the students did a great job, and out of 7, I like almost all of it, except I guess Ethio Explore can be embedded in the Rated somehow in the future, because it's an experience also, and we can include that to Rated platform. Other than that, I really like ChatGTP. I don't know, but for ChatGTP, we need to create B2B solutions, maybe. Not because it now is open for development. We can provide solutions for the companies by using ChatGTP, and most of the entrepreneurs are trying to do that. But we might be the first and we can sell that product or service to the Ethiopian market, but at the same time to the developed markets as well. I mean, it's a really good project, and I like that. I want to be part of it as well. Other than that, I mean, we are good to go, and I am very eager to work with the projects.
Thank you very much, Abi. Next, we can continue with Mirna. Mirna, can you hear us? We didn't hear from you for a while after pregnancy tracker.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was kind of paying attention more than ever. First of all, I want to congratulate everyone on great ideas. It's not easy to. Sorry. Also, my camera is a little bit off, so you guys are just gonna have to hear my voice. It's not easy to pitch an idea, and really, like, it takes courage. And I just want to congratulate everyone for awesome ideas. I'm also like I'm personally very interested in the first project, which I gave feedback on, which is connected to women, because I am one, right? This is something that I would love to be a part of in terms of like mentorship and helping out potentially. And I basically have seen a lot of potential for all of the projects. So I would kind of give all the projects a green light, but there are some things we really need to pay attention to, like Afro GDP, for example, with like some of the problems that my male colleagues already kind of mentioned, right? So I didn't want to kind of give feedback that's the same as Ali and Noam, and but personally, I am very interested in the first project, and all the others are. I see a great potential. Of course, there needs to be a lot of research about real cost and the real opportunity in development. In terms of ideas, which is what we're talking about, I kind of want to congratulate everyone because the ideas are awesome. So we're going to see which of these things can actually be executed in the right way. But personally, I would give all of the projects a green light because I see the potential in all of them.
Well, thank you very much, Mirna. And we are very happy to hear that you are especially interested in pregnancy tracker. Yep. And we believe your mentorship can definitely help the team to find the way to success.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. All right, next we can actually continue with the silent shark. Burak, we didn't hear your voice until now.
Hi,
you were listening us.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm a little bit sick today, so that's why I was being silent. But I watched the presentations, a very good job on all of them, like very high quality presentations, good research, and all. So yeah.
Any projects that you give red lights? Anything that you have concerns about?
I don't want to give any red lights to any of them, but I can maybe say the two favorites of mine are the last one, Smart Project, I guess that was the name, and the first one, the pregnancy tracker one, because I believe they are solving real world problems, and yeah, they're adding a lot of value to the people who need them. So those two are my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And would you like to mentor any projects?
Yeah, like if you guys need any help on, especially on mobile app development, I would be happy to be mentor on the site. But I think I can leave it up to you to decide when you need me and how you need me, and I will be there.
Well, thank you very much, Burak. We are very happy that you are with us.
Sure.
And thanks for your support.
Right.
All right, next, Jerusalem.
Hi, Emre. Hi, everyone. Sorry for being a bit quiet. It was kind of multitasking, but that was really, really good. Well done, everyone. It's not my first time listening to everyone presenting, so I can see improvements, and I can also see the use of lots of resources from the slides, from their conversations. So really pleased to see an improvement. And I really, well, as always, I like the projects, the ideas, and I think I was involved in the ideation as well. So I would say, yes, we can give a green light to everything, but there are some ideas that we may want to say, okay, maybe they can complement one another, like the ETO.
Which ETO? Jerusalem, you just break up at the right.
So it's one of the ideas, which is, I think, that gives you, which is rated, which is great. I think it can complement with, I think, recommendations where you go to visit places. And I think, yeah, where you could, yeah, easy to explore. And I think the two, they can be, as seen as one project. The remaining, I think they can be great projects. Yes, I do have my favorites, the pregnancy tracker and also the smart project. But I would say, yeah, we can focus on the impact, but we want to create visibility as well. So it's good to have a mixture of projects like rated and the educational side of things. It's really important that we continue build something that's related to A2SV vision as well. So well done, everyone. And you provided unique ideas as always. It's great. Your business model was really great. I've seen some, passions and enthusiasm from some of the presenters, and other ones they really need to work on them. It's great. Again, I guess individual feedback can be given if it is required. I would say thank you. Overall, it was really great.
Thank you very much, Jerusalem.
Thank you.
And we will continue with one of our silent sharks, Solomon. What are your opinions on the project ideas?
Hi, Emre. Hi, everyone. Yeah, these were really, really good ideas. This is my second time hearing the ideas after Saturday. I'm really impressed by the presentations that were made and the ideas, the research that's been done. But I want to mention one thing. I believe these ideas are good now, but to actually implement them and to actually execute them and start taking them into the real world, we really need to do a lot. We need to do a lot of research. We need to do all of the recommendations or the comments that have been given by the senior people that we have in the meeting. And I think it's a different challenge, and there needs to be a lot of work that needs to be done to actually put these solutions in the world and actually seeing them. I don't want to give any green light or red light to any of the ideas, but I can say my favorite. I think my favorite idea is a pregnancy tracker. I'm also a bit biased because of the Traxin and the Hacking Map. So yeah, I would stop it.
Thank you very much, Solomon. And for the context, Solomon has been our head of product before. He started master program in Spain, and now he's working as a full-time engineer at a company called Personio. Thank you, Solomon. And lastly, we are going to connect to our most experienced shark, Noam, for the conclusive remarks. We are with you.
Yeah, I actually liked most of the project, but all of them need lots of costing and market study before launching. And I will be happy to help everybody in techniques of developing the market study, because I think that the use of numbers was used very loosely of the potential market. Actually, there are ways to analyze much more definite potential market and costs by approaching people how much you're going to ask, you're willing to pay for something, and you're going to store. There is one app that I use in all my apps that I use on the premium base, and it's not easy even with that. That is a super useful app for 120 million users, but the actual subscription is less than 2,000, maybe 3,000 now, after of 120 million fanatic users of such an app. So I think that we have to learn how to develop expectation, because the worst thing that if you really come an investor and you fail with the expectation is the investor is going to ask for much bigger shares, and you will dilute you to almost nothing. So in the real world, those numbers are really play a major. They are the deal breakers. That they are everything. If you cannot deliver, either the investor will ask for like kind of initial support, and then you're stuck without funding, or he will ask for much bigger shares and will buy you out. So for very low price. So it's very, very important to know the numbers game before we make an investment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Noam. Are there any
and another
ideas?
one thing, since I'm involved right now in 3 construction projects in 3 different countries, I really like the app for the reduction of the construction costs, because I live it every day. So I think it will be a hit in very, very short term.
Very happy to hear that. Thank you, Noam. And Tim, as we heard from our seniors, these projects all have great potential. At the same time, in order to bring that potential to reality, first, we need to do a very in-depth analysis, market research on the ideas for their feasibility, for their profitability, and for their market fit for Ethiopia. And after this planning, then making the decisions on which projects we want to go after is going to be a better choice than making this call right now. But from today's input, what we can see is, since they are actually very close, Ethio Explore is for the tourism domain and Rate It is for the food domain, we can actually consider these two together. And we can have 6 tracks in which we will do the research, we will do the planning, we are going to get the input and guidance from our senior members. And hopefully, in the following weeks, after making in-depth analysis, we are going to be able to make the right calls on which projects we are going to pursue. So we didn't start great, but I believe it heated up and we are ending in a great way. Thanks for patiently listening and sharing this moment with us. So I would like to give the applause for everybody who made this organization great. Thank you. All right, team. Thank you very much for your time and hope to see you in our next episode. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. No, thank you. We're actually paying. It's okay, guys. It's still, it's still, yeah. I will, I will have hopefully 400.
Thank you, Emre.
Guys are very welcome. All right. Good outfit. Where is it? It's like a lot of the show.
Of the mobile.
We can have students can have.
Thank you. Next, yeah, this were for Ethiopia. And after this planning, then making the decisions on which projects we want to go after is going to be a better choice than making this call right now. But from today's input, what we can see is, since they are actually very close, Ethio Explore is for the tourism domain and Rate It is for the food domain, we can actually consider these two together. And we can have 6 tracks in which we will do the research, we will do the planning, we are going to get the input and guidance from our senior members. And hopefully, in the following weeks, after making in-depth analysis, we are going to be able to make the right calls on which projects we are going to pursue. So we didn't start great, but I believe
We should start earlier. Yeah. This is a lesson for all of us. Like actually, if someone wants, I think we should also do a rehearsal for the whole setup. Like one thing is we can actually purchase some speakers, right? That people speak either data or this is like today it was empty, so I think people heard. But if we had the full crowd, right, people wouldn't hear. So I think it would be a good idea to invest in sound system, right? When it comes to the recruiting for the people who bring in, to pay their mic, when we get a script that is loud and sharp, it goes into them, and it causes the disturbance. Like yes. Before. Yes. And to avoid that, I think we need to tell everyone who presents to read their. Or is there an alternative solution? Like, can we get maybe. Right. This should be the job. That should be the job. And that will actually not only work. Yes. We can buy it from Ethiopia. I mean, yeah, microphone is not a big technology. So, yeah, they should be able to get that. So, guys, don't worry, we are getting that. Right now, we don't have a big visibility. Like, these are still phenomenons, So, these things are tolerable. But next year is going to be different. Yes, exactly. So still, since it's in-house, these things are tolerable. But by next year, we should step up our game. So from this one, we get very good lessons. And we should, if we do the rehearsal for the whole event, let's say we can do the full setup with one project. One of us can join from another room. Where we can test everything, yes. And this is not a failure on feedback, this is a failure on me. Because, I am the more senior person who should say, hey guys, we should do a rehearsal for this. So these are all learned, because we all have a great intentions and we have some weaknesses. Like, I am a very creative person, but I'm not great at early planning and, testing these things and stuff. So we are all learning, exactly. And the thing is, as we said right now, we don't have the external visibility. So this is still a good learning opportunity for us. But yes, we should step up our game so that by next year, right, we will do it. Yes. Yes, yes, but we are giving there, guys. For example, in comparison to our previous, this is like
the whole
10 times better, right?
10 times better. Even
Yes.
the entire recording, there was no single flow of versions. And when it comes to the streaming was good, but they were relying on the internet, right? It was
Yes. So, like for that reason, definitely, and this was a great ending. And people liked the projects. People understood the project ideas. It wasn't like yeah. So it's good, guys, and we will continue keep exceeding. So overall, a great job. Yes, there are things that we can improve, and we will. So thank you very much.
good shot.
Very good words.
For the little thing, yes. Which one did you like, Emre? You did not to personally say. Personally, yes.
Among the projects, which one would I? So there are different perspectives. In terms of the global potential, I think rating is the most potential among these. Why? For the pregnancy tracker, the market is already saturated in the developed world. Like there are tens of apps for pregnancy tracking in the developed world. Whereas in terms of impact for Africa, I think pregnancy tracker has the highest potential. Because there are so many people, the apps are not localized. Even if you have the global players, they are not suitable for Africa. Like they have so many articles, so many animations, the apps are big, nobody considers Africa circumstances. Therefore, pregnancy tracker, I believe, has the biggest impact potential.
As well as I think Africa is one of the most maternal death rates as well as problems for pregnant people. So a lot of kids die, a lot of mothers die. Yeah.
They don't have access to healthcare information or
Yes.
service.
Yes.
So there is a lot of room for impact there to make people